Over the years, stealth games have changed a lot. Sometimes for the better, most of the times for the worst. In recent time, we've had a severe lack of these games. The closest we've gone is lacking stealth systems in games like Far Cry. With all that out of the way, I'd like to say that today we're going to be looking at a stealth franchise that has fallen from grace. The name of this franchise is Thief, and we're going to be looking at two of its games, Thief Deadly Shadows and Thief 2014. Thief Deadly Shadows was a game made by Iron Storm in 2004, released on Xbox and Windows. The game had a third-person, first-person perspective where you star as the protagonist Garrett from Thief 1 and 2. Garrett is a master thief with lots of tools in his tool set, of course. He starts out with basic melee weapons such as the blackjack, which is basically, you go up behind somebody and you knock them out. The dagger for combat encounters. Broadhead arrows for taking out guards from a distance. Water arrows to take out torches. Moss arrows to make your footsteps quieter for a time. Fire arrows to destroy projectiles and relay torches and also set oil on fire. Gas arrows for taking out multiple enemies at once. Oil flask for making traps, lethal and non-lethal. Holy water to kill undead, health potions to heal, gas bomb to knock out multiple enemies at once, explosive mine to make deadly traps, and flash bombs to stun enemies for a couple of seconds. Which is a lot, but it makes every encounter extremely engaging and versatile, because they're all built with all these mechanics in a way. The first three games in the series use paper maps, so you have to look out for landmarks and head to the landmarks, look at the map and be like, identify where you're like, oh, and you also have multiple of them, so you have to manage the maps, and it's really fun, You also have a light gem, which basically shows you how light your areas is. It's dynamically changes. Basically, if you're in lighter areas, it can subtly change. And also, if you're standing and moving, the light meter gets higher than you are when crouching and moving. So basically, if you're crouching or not, if you're crouching in complete darkness, you are completely invisible in a way, but if an enemy bumps into you, you're done for. Also, sound plays a huge part in the game. If you're walking on marble surfaces, enemies will be able to hear you if you're not quietly tiptoeing. But let's say you're on wood, then sound will be fairly normal. And if you're on carpet, it'll be quieter than usual because it's softer. Sound just won't come out of it. And also, this game focuses the most on thievery out of the entire franchise. Thief 1 and 2 were more stealth games than they were thief simulators, and Thief Deadly Shadows is more of a thief game than any other thief game. But what carries the game the most is the level design, which is large. It feels real and it looks real. And also they have, they also have probably the most advanced stealth mechanics in any game. I think the only game to rival Deadly Shadows or Thief 1 and 2 is probably Splinter Cell. That entire series. That is probably the closest a game has ever gotten to rivaling it. That's it. I love its game. I think it's the best and most underrated Thief game in the entire series. The reviews may be mixed, but it's amazing and you should pick it up because it's only 98 cents. But I can't say this for Thief 2014. Thief 2014 was made by Eidos Montreal in 2014, released on Windows, Mac, PS4, and Xbox One. The game has a first-person perspective starring Garrett and a reboot of the entire Thief series. The tool set for this game includes the blackjack for combat and instant knockouts, blunt arrows to hit switches, broad arrows for long-range combat, sawtooth arrows are just broad arrows, but better. Fire arrows can ignite flammable items like torches or barrels. Yeah, explosive arrows can kill enemies in a certain radius, water arrows to take out lights, choke arrows to knock out multiple enemies, rope arrows to increase verticality but are extremely restrictive, flash bombs to stun enemies for a couple of seconds, and throwables to distract enemies. The sandbox is more limited in this game, so is the level design, and also the life gem isn't dynamic. It only has 3 phases. In combat, you can just stun lock the enemy until they're dead. You also have a dash mechanic, which is nearly silent and infinitely spammable, and my gameplay reflects this fact. They added a mini-map and a generic AAA video game map, which makes the game way less focused on exploration. And basically, it just ruins the vibe of Thief. And also, there's this like really cool mechanic in Thief Deadly Shadows where if you knock out a light and an enemy notices it, they react like a person. They try and solve how it happened. They wonder who knocked out this light. If you knock out lights in this game, okay, I have night vision. And that's not even the worst bit. The focus meter. Basically, you know how you're going through a room and you're you're playing Thief Deadly Shadows, let's say. You're in a room, you go into first person mode to loot it better. Yeah, how about instead of having to look through drawers and all that, you just gained you could see through everything. You could see all the valuables and just take all them. That's what focus is. And that's not even the worst of it. It lets you perform broken moves and ruins the balance of the game. If you get the game, which you might, I won't judge, you should avoid this. Thief 2014 isn't bad. It isn't good. It isn't great. It's not a masterpiece. It's just mediocre. The good kind of mediocre, better than average. That's the best thing I can say about it. It has some of the most basic stealth mechanics in the video game. The only thing that makes it more complicated is the light mechanic. Because the only thing about sound is, let's say you're walking over shattered glass, you have to hold the walk key, and that's it. Yeah, I know, 10 out of 10 stealth compared to Deadly Shadow's whole entire dynamic, friggin' audio system. So the conclusion we can draw from this is that over time, AAA games have been boiled down to worse, less engaging stealth mechanics, and that most stealth games are more action-based than stealth now, which is, bad. And that Thief Deadly Shadows is underrated, and one day we'll make an entire review on it. Anyways, bye.